Good morning, everyone. We're fixing to start July 1943, but before I get started, I've been up at my parents' house. My stepmom died a couple of months ago, and we're up there trying to clean up her house and get all the stuff out of it. It's been really slow, but we're getting there. But I found a book, and it's called I can't see Lincoln's Devotionals. But what is interesting about it is that apparently he read this book quite often, and he always wrote in the dates that he read it. I think that's coming in backwards, and I'm sorry, but like here is 1960, 1961, 1964, 65, 66, 68. That was when he read that page. And it's just like that all through the book. So he really enjoyed this book. Here's one for me. I'll show you. Probably can't read it, but it says, Steve, talking about me. I am named after him. My middle name is Wilbur, Stephen Wilbur, and Stephen was one of my grandfather's uncles. But it says, Steve is 11 today. Steve is 12 today. Steve is 15 today. So that was kind of what he read on my birthday. Veterans Day, 64, 67, 68. Here, 29 years in Bristol, 65. But yeah, man, he read this thing like crazy. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So we're on July 1st, 1943. No one ever is defeated until defeat has been accepted as a reality. Quote, to be better off is not to be better. July the 3rd, got 2 books from the library, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and I Bring You Joy by Alice Bishop Kramer. Alice and Ludlow Kramer. Quote, deal with thy servant according to thy many, and teach me thy statutes. Psalm 119, 124. Friday, July the 2nd. Jamie and Dot came home from Nashville at noon today. James and I were just about at the end of our resources in cooking. We missed the ladies a lot. I will have a holiday tomorrow and Monday. The rest will be more than welcome. I intend to plant some late beans if the ground is not too wet. Saturday, July 3rd. Got 2 books. Oh, I've already read this. July the 4th. My country's birthday. Dr. J. Emerson Hicks, retired pastor of the First Baptist Church, preached for us this morning. Mr. and Mrs. Zulity came over in the afternoon, and we all talked about Lon's coming graduation. It has rained gently today. I guess it will be too wet to work in the garden tomorrow. Monday, July 5th, a grand holiday. All 4 of us at home, and well, we went to the movies this PM and took things easy all day. The ground is too wet to work in the garden, but I hope to plant some late beans sometime this week. My 3-day rest has made me feel ready to put more into my job and strive for greater results. I intend to improve my work and life day by day and really accomplish something. July the 6th. Janie and Dorothy canned 12 cans of beans out of the garden. They are also doing a bang-up job of house cleaning while Janie is on her 2-week vacation. This has been one of my low days, tired and rather depressed. A victim of something, I guess. July the 7th. We seldom make sacrifices. We only give up in the lower for the higher. Had a long chat with Captain J. Baumgarten, who has a 10-day leave from camp. Thursday the 8th. Had a fine workout in the garden, planted a row of beans, and finished spading the last of the land. One little accomplishment is of more conveyance than a great criticism. Ed Howe. Quote, "'Tis the good reader that makes the good book." R.W. Emerson. Friday, July the 9th. Memories. Devil's Lake, Wisconsin. A pet crow landed on my hat, attracted by some bright doodads. Mother thought we were a pretty fine year-old picnicker. The crow thought so too. I have never liked crows from that day to this. Saturday, July 10th. Bought 50 tomato sticks and staked up most of our tomatoes. Dorothy used a sickle and cut down the weeds and grass in front of the garden. Janie went back to work after a needed 2-week vacation. We are having a grand July weather, but not too hot and just a fine rain. God is so good to us all. Sunday, July 11th. Dr. R.T.L. Liston preached this a.m. at church. He is the new president of King College. Reverend R.S. Timmons, superintendent of the Tennessee Anti-Saloon League, was the speaker tonight. Both had fine messages, one on Christian education and the other on the evils of drink. I hope I will profit by today's sermon. Monday, July 12th. Men must be governed by God or they will be ruled by tyrants. William Penn. Sunday, July 11th. Dr. R.T.L. Liston preached this a.m. at church. I thought somehow this book got really scanned. We've already read that. That's July the 11th. We're needing it. Wednesday, July 14th. Weak desires bring weak results, just as a small amount of fire makes a small amount of heat. Thursday, July 15th, payday. This is the first check of the 20% withholding tax that was taken out of my check. Amount $10.20, which is my dues for licking the axis. Maybe we do the job quick and complete. Dot and I packed about 3.5 gallons of string beans for her to can tomorrow morning. This has been a fine day and I've enjoyed it. May I get joy out of each passing day. Tuesday, July 20th. Quote, "Use well the moment, what the hour brings for thy use. I'm thy power, and what thou best can't understand, it's just the thing lies honest to thy hand." Unquote. Wednesday, July 21st. The next week or so will be a father's bird's eye view of his daughter's wedding and all the sidelights of same he can grasp. Of course, things are moving fast and mysterious way above my head, and the only company I have is Jim, who is even more pushed about the course of events than his uninformed dad. It looks like the show is getting a fine start from my seat in the yowling behind a frost. So let's go. I'm all set. Thursday, July 22nd. Alice Ann Henley is giving Dot a party at the General Shelby Hotel. Some sort of shower. Mr. and Mrs. Lilly picked up Janie and Dot. You never saw such excitement as the wedding day grows high. Jim and his old man are some out of place in times like these. I hope it is a grand success. My job is not to butt in, and brother, how I'm working. Friday, July 23rd. Granny arrived about p.m. for the pre-wedding events. She is just as up in the air as her daughter and granddaughter. Julia Bumgarden is throwing another party for Dot tonight. All the ladies have gone, and Jim and yours truly are watching it again. Dot received lots of grand presents last night. Janie says all had a fine time, and Alice Ann really had things fixed up grand. Monday, July 26, 1943. Dorothy spent the day packing and repacking for her trip. She'd had help from Granny and Janie. Dot is receiving lots of grand presents that should last her a normal lifetime. Her girlfriends are treating her so nice it makes us hold our breath. I do not believe Dorothy will ever forget this week. Thursday, July 27th, 4:30 a.m. Dorothy just left for Seamart, Indiana to see Lon graduate, get his wings and commission. She may get her wings on wedding in Seymour. She is to phone us. Read for 2 hours early in the a.m. from 4:30 to 6:30. Elijah Embray House by Isaac Patton Martin. He indeed was a grand bishop. Wednesday, July 28th. Dot called telling us of Lon's commission wings, graduation, and furlough. I'm so glad the ceremony is going to be at Bristol. Looks like Lon will have about a week for the wedding before he reports in Idaho. Things happen too fast for this old codger like me to keep records, and lots of things are way over my head. I am still an old country boy. Thursday, July 29th. Dot and Lon returned home from Seymour, and really Lon looks fine in his uniform. There are so many details to attend to her for a church wedding that are 3 generations who are working and worrying their heads off. Granny, Janie, and Dorothy. Dot's girlfriends are really doing things up in a big way. Jim and his old man are still in the bleachers watching the preliminaries, which are over our head. Friday, July 30th. Wedding rehearsal at 8 p.m. Jerry Wells stood in for Dot, and you should have seen us strut down the aisle. Signed Dot's marriage license at 11 a.m. today. Janie had a nice reception at the house for the attendants. Everyone is up in the air. Guess it is a good thing. Lon is a pilot. Dot's presents to her girlfriends were real nice. Granny is all excited with the rest of us. Saturday, July 31st, Mrs. Lon E. Lilly Jr. The big event happened at 4:30 at the church. What a beautiful marriage it was. The attendant and party did a swell job. The chapel was filled. Dot and Lon made a fine-looking couple. The reception went off okay. The kids are all off on their honeymoon, and Granny caught the bus for home. We have cleaned all the dishes and mess. What a busy week it was. And that, my friends, is July 1943. I know how Granddad felt. I felt the same way when my daughter got married. All right, we'll stop it there and we'll pick up August once I can get this video uploaded. Peace out.